Okay, so I had to do a financial disclosure statement before UAB would let me up here to speak to you. So the form asked for the title of my talk, and I didn't have one. So in order to not commit fraud by lying on my form, the title of this presentation is My 2 cents. And in the words of Monty Python, and now for something completely different. So fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. My name is Dante Bacani. I live in Los Angeles, and like everybody in Hollywood, I have a headshot. I'm older than I look. I'm 58 and I'm 5'8". I stand 5 feet 8 inches tall. I'm half Filipino, half Irish, and I don't know if I resemble anybody famous, but if I do, that person is really lucky. So, I have short, salt and pepper hair, glasses, although I'm not wearing them now. And today I'm wearing a black bowling shirt, even though I haven't bowled in like 40 years or something. Thanks to SOS, the State of Slim program here at NICPAD, I weigh 50 pounds less than I did 4 years ago. Now on the left, that's me the day before I went into the hospital. On the right, that's 2.5 years later, about 7 months after I started SOS. And I was 45 pounds lighter than the picture on the left at the time. And today I'm 5 pounds lighter than that. So, I'm not the man I used to be. I'm literally 75% of the man I used to be. I am in a wheelchair, but I can walk using a cane. Hopefully by the end of 2025, I'll be using my own 2 feet to get around most of the time. Now, if I neglect to describe any of my slides, none of them are like mission critical. I'm not going to have pie charts or stats or stuff like that. So what's most important is what you hear, what I say, not what you see on the screen. Now, my favorite band is U2. I share a birthday with Bono, May 10th. I've seen U2 in concert over 40 times, including 1 year ago today in the Sphere in Las Vegas, which was a religious experience. I am a geek for comic books, superhero movies, sci-fi, British humor like Monty Python, Doctor Who, and dogs. I like cats too, but they shouldn't sleep together. Mass hysteria. I'm anti-mass hysteria. I'm a proud alumnus of 3 NICPAD programs: Mentor, Growth, and the aforementioned SOS. Those are all acronyms, if you didn't know that. I hear acronyms are big in public health, and Jim Rimmer loves to make acronyms. He did a great job on these, especially Mentor, mindfulness, exercise, nutrition to optimize recovery. To me, that's just the chef's kiss. Really great job on that one, Jim. I have an acronym too. We're going to get to it in a minute. Now, I was charged with a task. I'm here to talk about my unique journey and insights on navigating health, wellness, rehabilitation systems to provide a vital perspective to help shape how to help shape how research and healthcare systems can better meet the needs of people with disabilities. And I apologize, I apologize. There was supposed to be a black background. I don't know why this is white, so that's hard to read. But that was the homework assignment. Whew, it's a mouthful, you know. And I was given 15 minutes to tell you about all that stuff, you know. And my reaction, you know, I looked at the assignment and I thought, impossible. If I had a month to plan, I might come up with something. If only I had a wheelbarrow. Now, I speak in pop culture. I'll connect anything to the Holy Trinity: Batman, Seinfeld, and The Simpsons. My vital perspective is that you people need to get out of your ivory towers, read more comic books, watch more TV, and maybe you'll understand all my references. I mean, if you do that, not only will you make the world a better place for the disabled, and you'll better meet our needs, but you make the world a better place. So, I mean, it works for me. Your mileage may vary. Now let me tell you how I got to be in this wheelchair and why I sound the way I do. To draw upon the college humanities degree my parents paid for, I want to paraphrase my namesake, Dante Alighieri, in the opening of the Divine Comedy. Midway through the journey of our life, I had a catastrophic stroke. That's it. 2 days after my 55th birthday, that's May 2021, I went to the ER with stroke symptoms. They did an MRI and found that my arteries were clogged to a preposterous degree. They admitted me, and 4 days later, I underwent a stent procedure to increase blood flow to my brain. Now this photo of me is, I'm sitting in a hospital bed, and this was taken just before that stent procedure. It's the last photo of my before stroke era of my life, or BS, as I abbreviate it. You know, like the calendar has two eras, BC and AD. My life now has two eras, BS, before stroke, and PS, post-stroke. The hours after the stent went in were a calamity. A piece of plaque broke free in an artery, loosened by the procedure. This caused a blood flow stoppage upstream and led to the big stroke BS again, which nearly killed me. I mean, that is not BS. I nearly died that day. Now, if I had been discharged and sent home before that piece of plaque did its number on me, it's likely I would have died. Almost certainly, I would have had a worse outcome than the one I have. So, in a way, it was very fortunate that I was still in the hospital when the BS hit the fan. I spent a week on a ventilator. Then I began 45 months of rehab and recovery that led to this moment. So that's some of my backstory. Now, 6 months into my PS era, I was introduced to Jim Rimmer over Zoom by a mutual acquaintance. One of my best friends, David, seen here with his Academy Award-winning invention, the Perfect Horizon camera stabilizer. Jim, in our Zoom, remarked that I was very resilient in my recovery. He told me NICPAD was going to produce a documentary on the importance of resilience in the recovery process and would I consider participating. My answer was yes. I'm like a moth to a flame with a camera. I'll just fly right there. So for the last 3 years, Matt, Ingrid, and the team here at UAB, they've been writing, shooting, editing. We're approaching the finish line, almost there. And they gave me a trailer to share. So we're gonna see if we can roll it. So I may need help getting this to run. If I was to advise anyone out there who hasn't had a stroke yet, avoid it at all costs. They are not what they're cracked up to be. Recovering from this stroke has been the biggest challenge of my life, no question. From the beginning, I had to learn how to breathe again, swallow, how to speak, sitting up, walking, and over time, learning how to bathe, dress myself. It's almost like a lot of these second nature stuff got taken out of the library, so I had to recover those. But ever since then, I've been able to rely on my own innate resilience or North Star of what I'm pursuing with this recovery. I want to get back to work, want to have a dog again, those kinds of things I won't be able to do without recovering further. And knowing that I need to do those, it's kind of like a carrot dangling in front of my head that I'm chasing. There's this background belief, and I don't mean even a spiritual belief, but a personal belief that, you can get better. Recovery is possible. You just have to do the work. Thank you. That guy is good, whoever it is. All right, so thanks. Now, initiated in 2021, shot in 2022 and 23, and this week, wrapping later this year. I've suggested we call this film Project 2025. Matt and Ingrid are not keen. I don't know why. Now, 2 weeks ago, I had a somewhat different speech prepared for you. 3 takeaways from that earlier draft. And if you follow over with me, I'd be happy to discuss them. Number 1, information silos. Silos that separate researchers from medical practitioners, from therapists, and the info you don't know that you don't know. These all have a negative impact, the separation, on the efficacy of each area. The ultimate cost is paid by the disabled person. Silos are detrimental to doing your job better and to us who are trying to heal. 2, now I don't think there's a single magic bullet solution to the information silo problem, but this symposium is a step in the right direction. It offers a great opportunity for cross-pollination, networking, which, I hate that term, but it fits. Meeting and learning from other people in adjacent areas. 3, from my experience, the energy depletion that comes from dealing with bureaucratic bullshit, soul-crushing inefficiencies in navigating health, wellness, or rehabilitations. It's a monumental roadblock to recovery. Not just those fields, but also the day-to-day nonsense, like my hotel here in Birmingham. Don't even get me started. It's a whole thing. Now, I'm sure you have some sense of all this, but I guarantee you the impact on the disabled person is much more than you realize. Obviously, when you're disabled, you're not starting from 100% in the first place. And then when you subtract more energy from dealing with all this BS every day, we show up for therapy or a doctor appointment or whatever with a fraction of the energy that would be ideal. This diminishes our health and delays achievements and recovery. In my original presentation, I was going to elaborate on these, but the past month happened to me. So, the past month has been a mixture of balance of light and dark. It's been life, in other words. That balance of light and dark has really been sort of a guiding principle or philosophy or whatever for me for decades. So I created this logo for myself to express it. Now, this is a registered trademark, so don't try stealing it. I'm very litigious, So, and by the way, there's a lovely young lady up here with signs about how much time I have left. I'm going to be like one of those Academy Award idiots who blows right through the sign, I'm going to just keep yapping. So, oops, I lost them. This shouldn't count against my time. Can we get it back? Ta-da! That's actually a wonderful place for the break. Dramatic, So, given recent developments in my life, it's fortunate that I'm Mr. Resilience. 2 weeks ago, I got the results of a CT scan on my throat. Those results, along with some other recent dramatic life events, have altered the trajectory of my life and changed my message for today. Now, through that CT scan, I learned that a tumor on my tongue is probably cancerous. By the way, this is not me, this photo. I didn't have access to my actual CT scan, so I found this on the web, close enough. Now, they took a biopsy. I get the biopsy results on Monday. My time's up, so what, So I get these biopsy results on Monday when I get back to LA. So for now, the future is a villainous question mark. You know, stay tuned, same bat time, same bat channel. You know, we'll find out. But given my predicament, I hope Jim Rimmer is going to forgive me for going off script. You know, I'm trying to give the hosts what they asked for. I mean, did you get the part where I covered my unique journey and insights on navigating wellness, rehab systems? Did you get all that? I mean, see, I did the homework. Actually, I have done the homework. My answer will be in the form of an offer. But first, let me digress. Right after the big stroke, when I was on the ventilator, Miracle Max came to me, and he said, "What's so important? What you got here that's worth living for?" My answer, true love. I mean, full disclosure, I also said to blave, which means to bluff, but we're not going to get into that now. I also think this is the actual ventilator they used on me back in 2021. It felt that way. So, this is me and my wife, Lisa. We married in 2009. Here we are cutting the wedding cake. Isn't she beautiful? Come on. Don't we look happy? Now, our anniversary falls on the birthday of The Edge from U2. That is a coincidence. I'm not such a psychotic U2 fan to insist we marry on his birthday. It just happened. So, anyway, sadly, 7 years later, Lisa and I divorced. I saw her last in 2016. The last time I saw her in person was 2016 in divorce court. We wouldn't be in the same room together until 3 weeks ago. This photo was taken in Pasadena on February 8th. And for only the second time since 9 years ago when we divorced, we're in the same room again together. She's here today. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Like I said, the last month of my life has been a mixture of light and dark. Believe me, there's a lot more dark I haven't even gotten into. But not only the last month, but my entire life has been filled with so much serendipity, so many unlikely coincidences that, if you put them into a screenplay, the studio would reject it. The note would say, "Rewrite this. Nobody's going to believe all this shit." I moved to LA in 2016 to be a screenwriter. So I know a little bit about storytelling. So trust me on this. It's true, though. Matt and Ingrid are already making one movie about me, which you just saw the trailer for. After these past few weeks, I expect Hollywood to follow them. And they better come with a shitload of money, if they want to buy the rights. I may have medical bills to pay, I need the money. And I also see Tom Cruise playing me, but, we'll see. Back to the homework and to my offer. Now, when the assignment arrived, I was dubious. You know, early in my stroke recovery, a doctor said to me, strokes are like snowflakes. No two of them are ever identical. Now, if that's true, then what lessons could my story offer in the case of someone on a different point of the disability spectrum, someone who's not a stroke survivor? 3 years after the big stroke, a friend of mine asked, "What's your superpower?" My knee-jerk answer was my hair. Now, my friend Larry says I have the best hair in Hollywood. Now, he actually said that to Lisa when she was in LA 3 weeks ago. But don't judge by today. This may be a bad hair day. I mean, even I have them, you know. Another superpower, when I lived in Chicago, I had a supernatural ability to get amazing parking. The spots would just open for me like Moses parting the Red Sea. Wow. Yet another superpower, I'm a connector. You may know what I mean, even if you've never read The Tipping Point with Malcolm Gladwell. I have a knack for bringing people together, intellectually, socially, or in business. It's part of what makes me a great event planner. But my primary superpower was summarized by the old Apple ad campaign, "Think Different." Remember? Now, to be clear, I'm not saying I'm the equal of Einstein, Gandhi, Lenin, or Jobs. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm here to say is I'm greater than Einstein, Gandhi, Lenin, and Jobs. The difference is that I'm alive. You can talk with me. I think about things differently than you might. I don't know how I do it or why. I just do. And yes, that "just do it" is an allusion to Michael Jordan. You know, I'm here in the stadium of the Birmingham Barons, so of course I'm going to bring up good old number 45 of the Birmingham Barons. You know, when the ball's on a tee, you just gotta swing for the fences. Now, another Birmingham Baron, Satchel Paige, the great pitcher, once said, allegedly, "It ain't bragging if you can do it." So it's not bragging for me to say I'm thoughtful, analytical, creative, resourceful, articulate, and a high-level problem solver. Basically, I'm a genius, a super genius. And I'm at your service. So it would be foolish of you to not take advantage of consulting me. And I'll tell you how you can reach me in a minute. Now, don't sleep on this offer. I might die soon. I might have cancer, you know. I nearly got killed by a stroke. I might have another one, you know. You never know. I mean, tomorrow is promised to no one. And I used to be a card-carrying genius, but after my stroke, my Mensa membership lapsed because I haven't paid the dues. You know. For a minute after the stroke, I was worried, what if my IQ dropped a few points because of the stroke? Would Mensa still have me back? Then I realized, for cash flow purposes, they want my money, they want the dues, they'll take you back. We all need money. Now, I believe laughter is the best medicine. Does anybody remember laughter? That was an inside joke. That was for my wife. I couldn't resist, sorry. Now, don't take what I said dying literally. I plan to be around for decades to come. I have lots to live for. I just got my wife back after, 9 years. We have a lot of catching up to do. Plus, I'm on a mission from God. I have a lot to say about my journey, yada, yada, But the best way for me to share my thoughts is not a monologue, not me dictating to you for more than 20 minutes, whatever it is, Alex, and I've gone over, telling you about how I represent all disabled people. And it should be your job to infer some lesson from whatever I was to say that way. Now, pick my brain. It's damaged, but it's still pretty good. I'm literally brain damaged. That's what a stroke is, That's what a stroke does. But the best way, the best results will come through dialogue, not monologue. They'll come through collaboration. Let me paraphrase something I took to heart years ago. You may be smarter than me. I may be smarter than you. But you are not smarter than you and me put together. And I am not smarter than you and me put together. So let's put our heads together. This is my number, 310-721-0640. Call me, text me, it's a mobile. By the way, this is not a solicitation. I'd probably get in trouble with UAP if it was. If I'm soliciting anything, it's your help that I'm soliciting. Your help in getting my thoughts out there. Thoughts on disability advocacy or health, wellness or rehabilitation systems, blah, blah, blah. Because you can reach people that I can't. To quote a great American hero, help me help you. Or you complete me, one of the two, either one. Now, I can't really solicit for a as yet unpublished book, but I hope you'll read my memoir. I suppose theoretically I can solicit for it, but this shouldn't count as a solicitation. Whenever it's published, I hope you'll read it. Here's a mock-up of the cover. The real cover's going to be better. A professional is going to design it. Now, if you're curious about the title, you're just going to have to read the book. It's a funny story, though. Now, before the symposium last year, I asked Jim Rimmer if he would write the foreword. Now, after today, Jim, if you want to back out, I'll understand, But with Jim as my role model, I have an acronym. Here we go. Disabled advisor needs to earn. I'm still workshopping this. Another version is disabled artist needs to earn. Creativity is a big part of who I am. And the book, The Artist's Way, teaches we're all artists in some fashion. So maybe artist, advisor, either way, they both fit. So 2025 is the year of my post-stroke PS return to the workforce. But the form of my career is still TBD. Like I said, we all need money. But in a way, today is sort of like my coming out party, my debutante ball. And you can't spell debutante without D-A-N-T-E, okay? So I offer, again, 310-721-0640. My email is my first name dot last name @gmail, Dante.Bacani. So let's collaborate. And if you haven't put them in your contacts yet, call Jim's office. He can give it to you with my blessing. Now, after I get the biopsy results on Monday, I may not have the bandwidth to respond quickly, but I will get back to you as soon as I can, ASAP. So I may lose my voice from chemo or radiation or surgery or whatever, but I'll still be able to type and swipe. So that may take a little longer than talking, but I talk slower since the stroke anyway, so it might be the same. But I will get back to you. So thank you, Jim. Thank you, Cedars, Nick Pad, Zoe, Alex, Matt, Ingrid, and everybody here at UAB. Thank you, Lisa, for more than I can say. And thank you for listening. I'm Dante Bacani. Let's collaborate and make the world a better place. Thanks.